She's so fine. Hell of a blows my mind. Hell of a lights my day.
What's good, guys? Today is Tuesday, August the 9th, 2022. This video is going to be regarding the Kenneka Jenkins case and one of the conspiracy theories that continuously floats around in the community, specifically regarding the Biological Resource Center. Now, it has been said that
James Coleman worked for the Biological Center in Rosemont.
And this is exactly what I think about that theory altogether. Now, this theory has been around since the beginning of the case. Organ trafficking is 1000% real. True story. That's facts. We can back that up with facts. There are many instances where we can prove that. However, James Coleman, who was the boyfriend of Miss Teresa Martin, Kenneka's mother, at the time of the incident in September of 2017, did not work for the Biological Resource Center, had never worked for the Biological Resource Center, and you can't prove that he worked for the Biological Resource Center. And I don't want to see some fuzzy, grainy picture. You can't verify employment on him, which is very easy to do. You can't provide a pay stub. You can't provide any type of paperwork that associates James Coleman with the Biological Resource Center. I operate on facts. And there's nothing out there. Trust me, I have looked. I tried to verify employment. Nothing. Nothing connects James Coleman to the Biological Resource Center. But I wanted to, while we're here, give a little history on the Biological Resource Center, because a lot of people are either confused, believe the shit that comes out of their mouth, or have heard different things. And I wanted to set the record straight regarding the Biological Resource Center, because they really had quite a huge scandal, especially for Rosemont. So let's take a look at it. Let me first say this, though, before we look into that. I understand where it comes from. It's not that it's some far-fetched idea. I understand how to connect the dots and how people were arriving at this, because I'm not going to say that I discounted it at first. So let's look at how it even came into play. Let's just start here. This is an article from CBS Chicago, dated January the 14th, 2015. 2015. Investigation continues into suburban crematorium and office. An investigation into the possible illegal selling of human body parts continues after 2 suburban locations were raided on Tuesday. It's part of a year-long national investigation. Sources tell CBS 2's Brad Edwards that at Cremation Services, Inc. in Schiller Park, they're sifting through hundreds of body parts. The facility was raided by FBI agents on Tuesday, along with an office called the Biological Resource Center of Illinois in Rosemont, a body donation service. The ventures are owned by Donald Green. A business under the same name was recently raided in Arizona, part of the tentacles in an ongoing investigation that started in Detroit, where a now shuttered East Side warehouse was used to house thousands of body parts on ice, allegedly fresh for the black market. A lawyer for the Biological Resource Center of Illinois released a statement saying, quote, "As part of an ongoing investigation of 2 former Biological Resource Center of Illinois business associates, the federal government and state of Arizona investigators executed search warrants today at Biological Resource Center of Illinois. We are aware that the 2 organizations have been under investigation for several months and we are cooperating with authorities to better understand the issues and provide all requested information to assist in their investigation. Biological Resource Center of Illinois remains committed to serving both our donor families and clients by providing safe anatomical material that further medical research, training, and education. We are committed to continuing to serve our donor families and clients with the highest level of integrity and standard of care, as we have done over the last 2 decades, end quote. Now, we all know that that's not what they did, okay? And as a matter of fact, it actually all started, if I'm not mistaken, in 2008. That's when they started to probe. And it says the FBI and border officials have been following the tracks of Arthur Rathburn of Grosse Pointe Park, a former University of Michigan morgue attendant and central figure in an ongoing national investigation dubbed Body Brokers. Totally get it. Biological Resource Center in Rosemont. Kenneka Jenkins was in Rosemont. The police department and the Biological Resource Center shared a building. A lot of businesses shared that same building, but the Biological Resource Center was one of them. It's a rather large building with a lot of offices, and I think that's where the connection came in. I'm not quite sure. Now, Arthur Rathburn and cadaver dealers in Arizona and Illinois are suspected of dismembering human bodies without the consent of donors, lying to the families about how the bodies would be used, and secretly selling the body parts to medical researchers who use them for everything from surgical training and medical device development to paste for periodontal surgery or screws to hold fractured bones in place, federal court records show. And it's a very lucrative business. A human body is worth anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 if sold in parts, court records show. Brains can fetch $600, elbows and hands $850. While it is not illegal to sell body parts or tissue, the FBI investigation centers on 3 key potential crimes. Bodies being dismembered without the donor's consent and sold for profit, deceiving donors and their families who were promised they would not just be sold, they would be used for medical research. Bodies going to science without the clear consent of the donors, and body donation centers selling body parts riddled with disease to unsuspecting medical researchers. Now, this goes on to further say the FBI's case is spelled out in search warrant affidavits that are on file in U.S. District Court in Illinois. The probe records show originated in Detroit in December of 2013, when federal agents raided Arthur Rathburn's East Side Detroit warehouse, International Biological, and seized more than 1,000 body parts that were found on ice, not embalmed. All right. And in this statement, you can see the Biological Resource Center of Rosemont trying to distance itself. It says BRCIL, Biological Resource Center of Illinois, has not and does not sell bodies and does not violate its agreements with donors, the company said in a statement. It is important to note that the FBI's investigation did not originate with the Biological Resource Center of Illinois, but rather with a different unaffiliated organization based in Michigan. And this is where the Greens come into the picture. In court documents, the FBI says it is billing invoices and other documents that show the Illinois outfit was selling body parts to Rathburn's Detroit business and deliberately remained ignorant as to the ultimate use of those remains. It cited, for example, a 2010 email sent from company owner Donald Green to one of Arthur Rathburn's associates that stated, quote, "After talking with you early today, I don't think I need, nor is it any of my business to know who your customers are. I would rather it be easy for me to dismiss things like what we talked about earlier, instead of there ever being any allegations in the future." In December of 2013 came the big raid. Agents in hazmat suits converged on Rathburn's Detroit warehouse and hauled away bags of body parts belonging to more than 1,000 people, including several whose families never knew the bodies would be dismembered and sold. Among the body parts seized that day were head, leg, and left shoulder of a man from Illinois, records show. Arthur Rathburn had bought the man's whole body for $5,000 from the Biological Resource Center of Illinois, dismembered it, then sold various parts to international researchers, court records show. Then the FBI located the man's mother. She was obviously heartbroken. Then this article from ABC7. New documents revealed chilling details of alleged body broker ring. This is from March the 19th of 2015. Newly unsealed documents detail what federal investigators allegedly found when they raided two suburban businesses, a Schiller Park crematorium and the Rosemont office of the Biological Resource Center of Illinois, which arranges body donations for medical research. The documents say that the raids uncovered thousands of body parts and tissue samples, everything from heads and hands to legs and torsos, all part of an alleged body broker ring that illegally obtained and sold human remains on the black market. Goes on to say that documents had the remains were infected with HIV, hepatitis, and other disease, but nonetheless sold for medical training to hospitals and doctors in the U.S. and overseas. Federal agents say those body parts were supplied by Biological Resource Center of Illinois. They also say the company lied to its donors, promising remains would not be sold. But financial records obtained in January raids show whole corpses were routinely sold for $5,000, arms for $750, and heads for $500. Named in the documents are Donald A. Green and Donald A. Green II, the father and son owners of Biological Resource Center and the Schiller Park Crematorium. Now, I understand because of the location that it became part of the conspiracy theory in the Kenneka Jenkins case. But here's my problem with it. My problem with it is that the autopsy report doesn't list any organs missing from Kenneka. None. None at all. So unless that entire autopsy report is incorrect, I don't know how it comes into play in this case. Now, you got to look at it like all the other conspiracy theories. In order for this conspiracy theory to work, you would have to have many people who would be on board at number one, keeping their mouth shut, and number two, going along with it. And I also think it comes into play because of the area. And, you know, it was a big deal to have a body brokering ring right there in Rosemont and connected nationwide. I mean, it was connected to the Phoenix office, to the Detroit warehouse. So, I mean, it was big news everywhere, not just in Chicago or in Schiller Park or in Rosemont. So I get it. I get where it comes from. But I just simply cannot make the connection because all of Kenneka's organs are listed there on the autopsy report. And anyone that tells you otherwise is mistaken. And I've shown the autopsy report and can do so again. But it's on my playlist in the Kenneka Jenkins case files. So I just wanted to bring this to light because somehow James Coleman got inserted into this. How? I don't know. I truly don't know. Because we don't have him anywhere in any part of the Kenneka Jenkins case. He wasn't at the party. He wasn't at the hotel. The only connection to Kenneka Jenkins, as far as James Coleman goes, is that he was her mother's boyfriend at the time. That's it and that's all. That's it and that's all. But this man got thrown into the mix as being part of a body brokering ring. He wasn't charged with anything. We can prove that. So what happened? If he was part of this body brokering ring, why did he not get charged? You got to make it make sense, guys. So when you're listening to someone and they can't provide you proof, it's a problem. it's a problem. And the burden of proof lies on them. If they're saying that James Coleman worked for the Biological Resource Center, they need to show you proof of that. I'm not saying it. I don't have anything to prove. I never said James Coleman worked for the Biological Resource Center. So the burden of proof lies on the person that's accusing James Coleman of working for the Biological Resource Center. And until I see some hard facts, I can't go along with that theory. I just can't. Because I've seen the autopsy report. I broke it down in great detail. Great detail. And would gladly put that video back up again. There's no organs missing from Kenneka Jenkins. So I wanted to do this video because I get so tired of hearing the foolery. It's just plumb foolery. And I'm going to end the video on that note. Thanks for watching, guys.